Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to have you tune in for today's virtual activity as part of your KAC Community Cares package. I'm excited for today's Alligator Animal Encounter with the Racine Zoo, so I'm sure you guys are too. Before we get started, let's go to Zoom basics. We recommend...
You keep cutting out. Hey, leave it alone.
Muted, huh? How's this? Better?
All right.
Awesome. So we recommend speaker mode for the best viewing experience of today's activity. Please try to stay muted, but as you have questions, raise your hand and you'll be able to ask them that way. Turn on your video to be able to see who from our KAC family is tuning in, and type your questions or chat with your friends in the dialog box with the chat icon. We're ready to get started. If you have your magic alligators nearby, show them off as I hand it over to Ryan from the Racine Zoo, who's going to teach us a little bit more about alligators.
Awesome, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me today to meet one of my favorite animals here at the Racine Zoo. So my name is Ryan. I am the lead educator here at the zoo. I've been working here for a couple years now, and I do a lot of our programs. So our friend here is in a crate right next to me here. So I'm going to grab my friend really quick for you guys to meet. So give me 1 second. All right, friends. So this is my friend Sobek. And Sobek is one of two alligators we have here at the Racine Zoo. We have Sobek and a Moot. So they actually live behind the scenes here. So they live in the main building, that castle-looking building. They live in the basement of that building where they have a really nice exhibit that they get to swim around in and also sunbathe in too, because they do love to sunbathe. Now, our friend here is only about 3.5 years old. So Sobek's birthday is October 3rd, but alligators can actually live to be up to 100 years old and potentially grow as big as 20 feet long from head to tail. Now, on average, they typically grow maybe 12 to 16 feet, but on those rare occasions, they can get even bigger. Now, I guess a lot of us are probably wondering, how do we know this is an alligator and not a crocodile, right? So alligators and crocodiles do look a little different, and they can be found in different places. So the first thing I look at when I'm looking to tell an alligator from a crocodile is their mouth. Now, my friend here, he's got his mouth wide open, and that's because he's just a little nervous right now, and he'll relax as he gets to visit with you guys a little bit longer. But if my friend's mouth was closed, you would be able to see that alligators have an overbite. So they show just their top teeth when they smile. So they only show their top teeth. It's like that, have their overbite. Now, if they were a crocodile, they would show their top and their bottom teeth. They have big smiles. So that's one of the easiest ways to tell the two apart. It's just by how they smile. So that could be really helpful, especially when you're looking at an alligator or a crocodile from a distance. Another way you can tell them apart is by their snout. Now, I'm going to try my best to show you this here on camera, but alligators have a U-shaped snout, and you can see that here, whereas a crocodile has a really pointed V-shaped snout. So those two things can really help you out on top of where they live too, because alligators love to live in fresh water, whereas crocodiles, they like to live in salt water more often. And that's because those crocodiles are able to get rid of the salts from their body a lot easier than an alligator can. So if an alligator were to stay in salt water for too long, they could actually get really sick. So just by looking at the habitat, you can kind of decide, well, maybe this could be an alligator or a crocodile, or at least help us a little bit. Now, you can see here, as my friend is showing off all those teeth there. They have about 60 to 80 teeth in their mouth. And those teeth are actually hollow. So there's open space underneath their teeth, which allows for them to grow teeth on top of each other. So if you imagine like a stack of cups upside down and you pull off the top cup, there's another cup underneath. That's how their teeth work. Alligators can't survive without teeth. They need those teeth to tear off pieces of meat and eat their food. Kind of like a shark grows their teeth back really quick, right? Sharks, they have rows of teeth. When they lose one, another one pushes forward. That's how their teeth grow. Whereas in alligators, theirs grow on top of each other. So both those animals can't survive without teeth. So alligators go through thousands of teeth in their lifetime. So a really cool way for our friend here to survive. Now, as we zoom in more into my friend's face here, there is a lot to see and learn about. We can see their eyes here. Now, it's kind of hard to see probably on camera, but there is the outline of a lens, a clear lens. It's called a nictating membrane. And this clear lens covers my friend's eye, and it helps them so that they can see underwater. So they actually have 3 eyelids, unlike us that have 2. So they can actually see very well underwater. And believe it or not, they can stay underwater for more than an hour without coming up for air. So they will sit on the bottom of a pond, especially in the hot summer days, where even for an alligator, it can sometimes be too warm. They'll sit in the deepest holes in the pond on the bottom, and that will help them stay cool. Give you guys a nice close look there at those eyes there. You can also see that my friend has some really cool colors, right? You can see those stripes. You can see the browns, the yellows, the blacks. You can also see how strong my friend is and how he's showing off his strength right now for you guys. But they are, in fact, really good at blending in. So what they'll do is they'll sit really still in the wetland habitat where they live, and those brown colors will help them kind of look like dead grasses. So they'll blend in extremely well. And as they get older, they lose those stripes entirely, and they kind of get really dark black in color to kind of look like a log. So their entire life, they're relying on camouflage because, of course, an alligator getting so big, they need to be able to stay hidden pretty well. And if they were a bright color, they wouldn't be able to do that very easily. Another thing they rely on to help them is the water. The water can really help hide them as well. So what they'll do is they'll sit with their eyes and their nose just on the surface of the water. As you can see, their nose and their eyes are on top of their head. So they can sit really low in the water, hide their body underneath, submerged in the water, while they sneak up on things that they might think are tasty. So you may not see an alligator in a pond in the southern United States, but they usually are there. You can pretty much assume there's an alligator in every body of water in the South. Even fences, they will climb right over those. They are very good at getting around. And if they have the energy and the willpower, they are going to find their way even into some people's swimming pools. All right, well, does anyone have any questions about my friend right now? I would love to answer some questions if anyone has those. We can unmute ourselves and ask those questions, or I do have a colleague here who's watching the chat box for me. If you have a question and it's
She has a question. Carmeline, you have a question?
No.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
What his name is. She wants to know. Come on, ask him.
No.
She wants to know, does the alligator have a name?
Yeah, so this alligator here is Sobek. So
Sobek.
Sobek, the American alligator.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have another
You
question?
have a question too? Ask him. What's your question?
I have a question.
Oh, Cyrus has a question, I think.
Okay, no worries. If your question comes back, let me know. It does look like we got a question in the chat box here on how long an alligator lives. So alligators can actually live up to 100 years. They can live a very long time. And they grow about an inch to 2 inches,
You're a girl.
an inch or 2 inches a month. So they can grow really quick.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Is it a boy or a girl? So my friend here is a boy.
You have a
I
question?
have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard of the caimans before?
I'm sorry, that was kind of hard to hear. Could we repeat that question?
Do you know what a caiman is?
A caiman. Yeah, so they look a lot like an alligator, right? But they're a little bit smaller, for sure. Yeah, thank you for sharing. They are found in different places around the world. So that is awesome. Yes, there's
And
alligators,
I have a
there's crocodiles, there's caimans.
question about crocodiles.
You got a question about crocodiles? I'll do my best to answer it, but I'm no crocodile expert.
Is it true? Because I heard this somewhere where the crocodiles are able to climb trees.
Able to climb trees. You know, I haven't ever seen a crocodile climb a tree before, but I have seen them when they get really, when they want to move really quick, they will move so fast that they almost are running on their back two legs. So they probably can at least reach up onto a tree to help maybe grab something they might like to eat, but they're not good climbers. They actually, believe it or not, are very good at running on land. A lot of people don't believe that they can run really quick for short distances on land. And they are excellent swimmers, as we probably could assume, given they live in a wetland habitat. But great questions, everyone. Yeah, so I want to dive into that real quick, and then we'll have more time for questions. Our friend's ability to swim, right? So of course, living in a wetland, you need to be able to swim pretty well. Our friend here has special feet. They have webbed feet. You can see those extra skin in between my friend's toes here, just like things like frogs or ducks. A lot of animals that spend a lot of time in water do tend to have webbed feet. And that helps our friend to really swim extremely quickly. And they also have a really long tail, which is all muscle. You can see that here. That really muscular tail helps them to get short bursts of speed in the water. So, yeah, you can see my friend's trying to show us how tough their tail can be. Believe it or not, their tail is actually their first defense. So a lot of people think, well, an alligator might try to bite you. Well, they could bite. Anything with the mouth could bite, right? But an alligator, when they get nervous, they'll thrash their tail around. And a full-grown alligator can actually cause some serious damage with their tails. All right, friends, do we have any other questions? Seems a little quiet, but it's anyone, I can't see everyone's faces right now, but do you have any questions? Please feel free, don't be shy. This is a great time to ask those.
What they live?
Where do they live?
Where do they live? That is a great question. So alligators love to live in the water. They love to live in the swamps, and they can live as far north as North Carolina. So they can live way up there along the coast too. So they can live all over in the South. They just like it a little bit warmer. So
Remember when we were in Florida?
Yeah, in Florida.
yeah, you know, a fun fact is there's only one place in the world where alligators and crocodiles can live together. And it's actually in the southern United States in the Everglades.
Everglades, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where the fresh water and the salt water meet. In that brackish water, you can sometimes find even crocodiles. So even in places like, if anyone's been to maybe Sanibel Island or Marco Island or points south of there, you may have seen crocodiles and alligators together.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Absolutely.
Well, but first, I just let you know, I'm a mood.
Hey, Mom.
Mamu avatar. First, is that, well, I don't know, I heard this one is true, but does the alligators have have babies, you know? Hello?
Yeah, so alligators, they do have babies. They lay a lot of eggs. So they can lay as many as between 40 and maybe even 60 eggs sometimes. So they lay a lot of eggs. And as silly as this might sound, they are often considered the chicken nuggets of the swamp. So they in fact, are eaten by a lot of things in the southern states when they're small. A small alligator has to worry about getting eaten by other alligators, birds, raccoons, fish, all sorts of stuff. So very few alligators actually make it to be adults.
Wow. Okay. My second question, well, as about the babies, is that they no wrong. They the way to protect the babies, for the dangerous animals.
Yeah, so they do. They protect. They are very good parents for a short period of time, for sure. You don't want to mess with the mama alligator full of babies. They, in fact, will carry their babies for a short period of time in their mouths. The moms will also protect the nests too, and they will watch over them and make sure nobody messes with them. In fact, other animals in the southern states even take advantage of how good of parents alligators are. And you might even see sometimes turtles or other animals lay their eggs on an alligator nest because they can stay safe by the alligator protecting them as well.
Oh,
We have a question from the KAC Adult Center.
Okay, we have a question in our chat box here.
It's not the chat box. She's
Oh.
sitting there raising her hand in the video.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see all the videos right now. But if we have a question and our hand is raised, you're definitely welcome to unmute ourselves here if we can, or if you can add that to the chat, whatever's easiest for you. I do see your hand up now. Are we able to? I'm not sure if we are we able to. If not, that's okay. But I'd love to answer your question. Okay. Awesome, friends. Well, I'm going to give you one last close look at my friend here.
Oh, it looks like our admin's walking over to unmute.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.
All right, ready?
How sharp are their teeth?
How sharp are their teeth? Well, their teeth are razor sharp teeth. So I have never been bit by an alligator.
How come the eyes aren't blinking?
Well, that's a great question. So our friend here is alert right now, nervous. So what they do, they keep their eyes open. They want to make sure they don't miss anything. They're just focused on what's going on around. You would not win in a staring contest with an alligator. Let's just say that.
How long do they live?
How long do they live? They live up to 100 years.
Okay, that question.
All right, friends. Well, that is about all the time we have with our alligator friend. To give you one last close look at my friend here. You might have saw recently, just a second ago there, that eyelid, that clear lens that blinked over my friend's eye. So that was really cool. So that's that third eyelid I was talking about earlier. All right, you guys. Well, let's all say, see you later, alligator.
Alligator.
See you later, alligator.
See you next time.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today to meet our alligator friend. And of course, if you guys have any other questions about alligators, you are welcome to reach out to the Racine Zoo and ask. But I really appreciate everyone joining us today. And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate it.
No problem. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Remember to use the same Zoom link tomorrow for the drumming session with Wisconsin Conservatory of Music at 1:30.
Okay, we will.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.